Retirement loneliness, the hidden struggle affecting women in their 60s. The day the noise stops. Retirement can feel like leaving the stage after performing the same role for 40 years. Then suddenly sitting in the audience, wondering who you are. For many women, the emotional shock of retirement is not financial. It is psychological. For decades, life has been full of responsibility, work, family, caring for others, being needed every day. Then suddenly, the structure disappears. No meetings, no deadlines, no urgency. And while that freedom sounds appealing, many women quietly experience a loss of identity afterwards. Research from Age UK shows loneliness and social isolation increase significantly after retirement, particularly during major life transitions. Because work was never just work. It gave routine, confidence, connection, and purpose. And nobody really teaches us how to replace those things. Retirement is not simply about stopping work. It is about rebuilding meaning. Why freedom can feel uncomfortable. One of the biggest surprises in retirement is how uncomfortable complete freedom can feel. For most of our adult life, your days were shaped by responsibilities. Even when life felt stressful, it provided structure. Then retirement arrives and every day becomes open. Research from the University of Exeter found that well-being in retirement improves significantly when people maintain routines, social interaction, and purposeful activity. Because humans need rhythm, right? Without structure, confidence can quietly decline. Days blur together. Motivation drops. People start feeling disconnected from themselves. This is why the happiest retirees are usually intentional with their time. Not constantly busy, just purposeful. Retirement works best when you replace external structure with personal meaning. The invisible woman problem. There is a phrase many retired women think but rarely say out loud. I feel invisible. In work and life, your role is obvious. You contribute daily. People rely on you. Retirement can suddenly remove those interactions overnight. And loneliness rarely arrives dramatically. It creeps in slowly. You socialise less. Your world becomes smaller. Confidence quietly fades. Research from the Campaign to End Loneliness links chronic isolation to increased risks of depression, anxiety, and even physical health decline. Human beings are wired for connection, which means retirement planning should never only focus on pensions and investments. It should also focus on friendships, community, purpose, and belonging. Because retirement should expand your life, not slowly shrink it. Why confidence often disappears. Confidence often drops in retirement for one reason. Feedback disappears. For decades, people acknowledged your contribution constantly. Colleagues relied on you. Family needed you. Your presence mattered every day. Then suddenly, those signals stop. Research from Independent Age found that many older adults struggle with confidence after retirement because they miss feeling useful and relevant. But your value did not disappear when your career ended. Your experience, your perspective, emotional intelligence still matter enormously. In fact, many younger people desperately need guidance, mentorship, and wisdom from those who have lived through more. Confidence often returns when people start contributing again in new ways. Purpose protects confidence. Why retirement changes relationships. Retirement changes relationships more than most couples expect. For decades, life followed routines, separate schedules, different responsibilities. Then suddenly, couples spend far more time together. And that adjustment can create tension. Research from the Institute of Fiscal Studies shows retirement can significantly affect relationship satisfaction depending on how well couples adapt together. One person may want adventure. The other may want peace and quiet. For many women, retirement is also the first time they ask, what do I actually want now? That question matters because after years spent prioritizing everyone else, many women realize they have never intentionally designed life around themselves. The couples who thrive in retirement are usually the ones willing to redesign life together rather than drift into it accidentally. Why purpose matters more than money. Many people assume happiness automatically arrives once financial pressure disappears. But research consistently shows purpose matters far more than people expect. A study published in the Lancet Healthy Longevity found that people with a strong sense of purpose experience better well-being and healthier aging later in life. Purpose does not need to be dramatic. It can be mentoring, volunteering, helping family, learning something new, building a community, traveling, creating. Purpose simply means having reasons to engage with life. And interestingly, many people only discover what genuinely fulfills them once work stops dominating their time. Retirement should not just preserve wealth. It should create freedom to live intentionally. The longevity reality. A healthy woman retiring at 60 today could realistically live another 30 years. That changes the entire conversation around retirement. This is not a short final chapter. It could be an entirely new phase of life. Research from the International Longevity Centre UK shows many people underestimate how long retirement may actually last. And that means relationships, well-being, and purpose become incredibly important over time because loneliness compounds quietly. Friendships drift, communities change, people become less socially proactive. The people who thrive later in life are usually those who intentionally maintain connection, walking groups, lunches, travel, clubs, volunteering. Connection becomes a choice. And it matters far more than most people realise. Letting go of your old identity. One of the hardest parts of retirement is accepting that your old identity cannot fully come with you. Many women spend years trying to recreate the feeling work once gave them. Achievement, recognition, importance. But retirement is not designed to replicate working life. It is designed to evolve beyond it. And often the breakthrough comes when people stop asking, how do I hold on to who I was? And instead ask, who do I want to become now? That question opens new possibilities. Retirement can become deeply creative, a chance to rediscover interests, friendships, passions, and parts of yourself that were buried underneath responsibility for decades. Reinvention feels uncomfortable initially, but so does every meaningful life transition. Why small routines matter. One of the most important things you can do in retirement is create small routines that give life shape. Because humans are creatures of rhythm. Research consistently shows routines improve emotional well-being and reduce anxiety. And yet many retirees accidentally remove all structure at once. Initially, that freedom feels exciting, but eventually, completely open days can feel emotionally flat. The happiest retirees tend to create gentle routines around connection and well-being. Morning walks, exercise classes, regular lunches, hobbies, volunteer work, not because they are trying to stay busy, but because ordinary days matter. Life is not mainly lived through big milestones. It's lived through Tuesdays, and meaningful routines create emotional stability. The next chapter can still be your best. If you are approaching retirement and quietly worrying about losing your identity, you're not alone. But this feeling does not mean something has gone wrong. It means you are experiencing a major life transition. Retirement is not just financial, it is emotional too. And for many women, this stage of life becomes a chance to rediscover themselves beyond work and responsibility. To build new friendships, strengthen relationships, prioritize health, explore passions, create meaning intentionally. Research into well-being later in life consistently shows us that happiness is strongly connected to purpose, relationships, and autonomy, not simply money alone. Financial security creates options, but meaning creates fulfillment. And perhaps that is the real opportunity retirement offers us. Not fading into the background, but building a life that finally reflects who you truly are.